Ladies and gentlemen, once more we are gathered here with a near perfect sword, trying to make it so. Now we have one of three Rune of Returns already used. We're going to go grab another one from this month's, or this double month's, what is it called, a fortnight? Season pass, battle pass. Generally speaking, this is not worth it. But this is actually one of the new ones, so at least I want to go through some of the improved rewards. So give me one sec. All right, now we can hit acquire all with the new rewards, and we can see exactly what we get. So we get 21 rune element selectors times 4. So that is 88 rune elements. We get 36 swords, which is whatever. We get 20 element rune chests, which are random, but they're radiant. We get 500 crystals, whatever. Then this is where the good stuff is. We get the Rune of Return, obviously. The Warrior Mementos is whatever. But then you get Radiant Selectors. You get 16 of them. So that is very good because in this case, for what we wanted to do with that sword, I not only want to burn off what we have, but then I also want to make sure that I can do a 35% chance. So we're gonna Rune of Return here. It's gonna burn off the last one there. And now we want to make sure that we have enough. See, we don't have enough. We have 12 out of 15. 35% chance is the highest you can give yourself. For now, we'll talk about what is coming later on. I'm not going to select all of these here, but I'm going to go and find the Radiant ones, which are right here. And I'm going to choose Strength. I'm not going to bore you guys with the rest of it, but I honestly think it's better now. They improved on it. It's still not... I wish they'd give like 2 runes of return. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what they could do to make this pass better at this point. It's like almost good enough. I actually want to say it's almost good enough with all of the other runes that they give you, with all of the Radiant runes. And I think I have enough Radiant runes with the selectors, honestly, that I could take... No, you know what? Actually, I don't. If I didn't have a perfect red sword already, because of the amount of Radiance that I have, I could take like a 3-star sword, and I could use Radiance on every step up. From 3 up to 6, whereas normally you would save the Radiance for just the last step or the second last step. They do give you enough Radiance, right? Because they give you 20 selectors, okay? And then they also give you a bunch of random ones. So you can see here, I mean, these are going to be random, but if you open up enough of them, obviously you're going to get overlap. So see there, I didn't even have to use the selector on the orange ones because I was going to get some orange anyways. What sucks is as the... Wow, a lot of green. That's actually really good. What sucks is that as you collect more perfect swords, it makes the random Radiant rune chests worse. Because, for example, I got those red Radiant runes, and now I have 22 of them. I don't need any more because I already have a perfect red sword. There is a world in which, in the future, people will be rolling their swords again after they have perfect swords, believe it or not, because there are some stats that are more desirable than others. For example, like increased damage to mutants, reduced damage from mutants, shit like that. But I'm nowhere near that point yet. We're still trying to just get one perfect sword. So here we go. We're not going to go for red. We're going to go for orange here. This is a 35%. This is a 1 in 3, basically. It's a 1 in 3, baby. It's a 1 in 3. It's a 1 in 3 for me to hit the big goose with the Bubba Goose. So I got the Mac in my knapsack. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do it. 35%. Oh, man. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Show me the orange, baby. Blue. Really? Blue? Really? Oh, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts. That hurts. This really hurts as well because... Oh, man. Because it's... Like, I gotta wait now. This sucks for so many reasons. I have to wait now, right? This is the thing. I have to wait now for another month before they're gonna roll out another battle pass where I can get another Rune of Return. The more shitty part is it's the last time I'm gonna be able to use a Rune of Return. So it's literally, you know, you can see there it's 1 out of 3, right? There's only 1 left. That really sucks. That really sucks. It almost makes me want to give up on this one now because I don't really want to... I mean, 5 out of 6 is really good, right? But I don't want to imagine my luck if I actually fail the Rune of Return 3 times, right? Like, failing the 1 in 3 times is pretty bad. And I'm only doing it for a +1. I'm not even doing it for a +2 at this point, so it really, really, really hurts. But on the plus side, there is a way to avoid all of this RNG. believe it or not, there is coming a way to avoid all of this RNG. So I do want to talk about it today in the second part of this video. I want to talk about the data mined bingo board rewards. So I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see a little bit more clearly. But the bingo board rewards have been the same for the last couple of years, where the first step you get a CTP selector, which is nice. It doesn't include conquest, it includes conquest. Sorry, it doesn't include veteran now. So it's every single CTP that you can select besides veteran. Then the step 2 includes the 5-star artifact selector, which again is really, really good because it has every single available artifact. Then you have the mighty CTP, which includes oh no, it doesn't include, wait, what? It doesn't include conquest this time. That's so weird for the mighty. Whatever. Then you have a 6-star artifact selector, also really, really good. And then you have a brilliant CTP selector without veteran or conquest. However, they added a 6th step. So that does increase the cost, the total cost of doing the bingo from 25,000 crystals on average to 30,000 crystals on average. But the 6th step is very good. It is a plus 6-star sword selector. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what this does. It's assumed, it says here that it's assumed to allow you to select a particular color. We don't know. It is a selector. It is a selector, so I'm guessing it'll allow you to select, you know, the Muramasa, the sword, you know, the different swords, right? It'll allow you to choose Skybreaker, or it'll allow you to choose the Soul Sword, or the Scarab, right? Or the Warlock Sword, or the Starlight Sword. That's what we're guessing, and then it'll give you a 6-star version of that, like a perfect, basically a perfect sword, right? Not 6-star, but 6 rune. So that will be really good if that is the case. And if it's also the case that they're going to bring the bingo back again, because last year they re-upped the bingo. There was actually a repeat, so you could do the bingo twice. That means players will be able to choose 2 perfect swords. I do think that a perfect sword, by the way, is worth 5,000 crystals if you have any of your stats at 4 out of 6. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty details here, but if you have all of your swords at 5 or 6, then it makes less sense. I think it's still worth it, but it's not as valuable. But if you have multiple stats at 4, or 3, or 2, or 1 out of 6, especially the most important stats, which are energy attack for purple and orange physical attack. So especially if your strength and your psionic are not 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 6, if they're lower than that, then I think choosing one of these swords to get, you know, 6% energy attack or 6% physical attack, plus you're getting the all attack. I can't tell you how much all attack you're getting because it depends on what level you're at, right? But you can see here, like if you're at level 25 and you have a 4-star sword and you replace it with a 6-star sword, not only are you getting an extra, like I said, 6% physical or 6% energy, specifically for purple or orange, but then because you're going up by 2, you're getting another 3% all attack on top of that. So you can get almost 10% physical attack or energy attack when you add those two together for those specific stats, you know. And even some of the other ones, like red is not that good, but it's still pretty good. If you have like a 4-star one, you're getting an extra 5% additional pierce damage decrease, and that stacks up with other additional pierce damage decrease effects that you have, like on an artifact or something like that. Some of the other ones are not as good, like green and yellow, because it's just basically defense, and it's a lower percentage as well, because going from 4 to 6 only gives you 4 instead of giving you 6. So it's less value there, but I still think it's valuable overall once you get to having enough element mastery, because the higher up you go, the more each point is worth, right? Because when I give you that example from 25 to 27, it's only worth 3% all attack. But then if you go from 27 to 29, it's still worth 3. But then if you go from 29 to 31, it's suddenly worth 3.5. And then if you go up again, it's worth, what is that, 4? Right? And then it goes up even more, right? There you can see it's worth 4. And then the last step alone, especially if you're close. If you're at 34, the last step is worth almost 5 just by itself. So, yeah. I don't want to get too nitty-gritty with the details here. It obviously depends on what kind of swords you have. It's sort of like comic cards where I can't give you every single potential situation. But I do think for a lot of players that get to the end here of step 5 and then they're wondering, hey, should I do step 6? It really matters what your swords look like, but I would use the examples that I gave you for purple and orange as kind of the barometer for what you want to choose. If your swords look as good as mine or better, and you're not a big spender, then you could probably skip it. You know, at this point, I think if you get to around 30 element mastery, I think you're kind of done with this system. Now it's kind of screwed up the way that they've scaled it, because even though I'm at 31, just going up by 5 more to the max gives me more than 10% attack. So I'm actually still missing more than 25% of the total attack that sorry, not 25%, 20% of the total attack that this thing gives you, right? That this system gives you. That's kind of crazy that I'm still missing 20%, even though my swords look like this. That's why I'm gonna definitely be going for it, because I do want to get a lot closer to that 50%, but also because it's only an additional 5,000, and I was planning to go to the Brilliant Selector anyways, because I think the Brilliant Selector and the 6-star artifact are super good value. All in all, I think the biggest value here for getting the sword, if it's the 6th step of the bingo, and if I can do it twice especially, is that I can just stop doing this bullshit with the Runes of Return, right? Like, I think that's the bigger thing to consider. If you've used Runes of Return, if you've had this sort of heartache where you're 5 out of 6 and you keep trying for that 6 out of 6 and you keep failing, every time I try this shit, it cost me $30. Now, I did get some other things, right? I get 500 crystals, whatever. I get some mementos, I get some swords, whatever. But even the Radiant Runes and the Rune Selectors, they have less and less value the more swords I have perfect, right? Because I no longer need any red runes. I no longer need any purple runes, more or less. If I do this thing twice and I get 2 more swords, right? Let's say I choose, I'm going to choose orange and let's say yellow. Right, so now I have 4 swords that are perfect, and I just need green and blue. It becomes increasingly difficult. Not only does it become exceedingly difficult, but also to make swords, it becomes exceedingly difficult. Because when you're making swords, you enchant a bunch of swords, right? Let's say you bulk enchant a bunch of swords. You bulk enchant 50 swords. Let me just quickly give you an example here. Let's say I just take the example that I have now, where I have purple and red perfect. Do you see all those purple and red swords here? I have to just dismantle them right away, because I don't need them at all. So I'm going to just go in here and immediately start dismantling all of the purple. So imagine I had also orange and yellow. So now I'm going through and I'm dismantling like 90% of the swords that I created at 1 star. So it's crazy. It becomes so annoying. You enchant like 500 swords and you dismantle like 450 of them, and so that you start with such a small base because you're just trying for those last 2. So yeah, it's a bit of a frustrating system where it gets like exponentially more difficult as you go on, sort of like the Discord role XP. But anyways, that's for the yappers. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of my sword luck, and let me know if you're going to be going to step 6 on the bingo or not this year. If you have no idea what the bingo is and you need more information, you can just Google or YouTube search Cynicalex bingo, and there's a video where I explain exactly how to do it. I will also be coming up with a new video basically simulating the bingo again, because we have the bingo game, but that will be coming a little bit closer to Black Friday, a little bit closer to when the bingo is actually live, or at least once they announce it, so we know that it's around the corner, so that people don't you know, forget and lose their memory. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.